everyone. Today I've decided to run my first ever fun run. I'm literally running from one side of the screen to another for charity. Thank you. Now I must stretch.
Well, fans, welcome back to another great sporting event here on Comic Book Issues, your destination for all sports that take place during a comic book review.
The idea of Brian Heinz actually running is not only terrifying, but deeply hilarious, Wilbur.
Indeed, and one has to wonder about the timing of this event.
Correct. He also did a sports-based opening for his Black Canary review, which we were also a part of. That one took place a little over half a year ago.
Very lazy writing, and here we go. There we go, one step and he's pulled a muscle. What more can we say except enjoy the show?
Well, the really sad thing is now all that money he raised will have to be returned. A lot of trees will not be planted now.
Can someone call an ambulance? Welcome back to Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, Brian Heinz. Hey, before we get started, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications, and please check out my Patreon page. It's patrons like you who help these videos get made. Speed. Not the drug, not the Keanu Reeves movie, but the velocity. Sometimes you have a need for it. Other times you have it thrust upon you. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. But today we're going to talk about The Flash, a character I've always loved on TV. I was a big fan of the 90s Flash show, and I was a fan of, let's say, the first two-thirds of the 2014 TV series that actually lasted 9 seasons. Still haven't seen the movie. I suppose I do need to for no other reason than it has Michael Keaton in it. He's Batman. But The Flash started out in comic books, so just who or what is the absolute Flash?
The Flash was created by Gardner Fox and Harry Lampert in Flash Comics #1 in 1939. Jay Garrick inhaled hard water vapors and was granted super speed. In 1956 Showcase #4, Barry Allen is covered in chemicals that are struck by lightning, giving him the ability to move and think at super speed. Finally, when the Crisis on Infinite Earth hit the 80s, Barry died and was replaced by his nephew, Wally West, formerly the Kid Flash of the Teen Titans. The Flashes are a dynasty, including multiple speedsters, not all of whom use the name The Flash, that extend even into the distant future of the Legion of Superheroes. But who is the absolute Flash? Recently, in DC's All-In special, Darkseid discovered he was a primal force in the DC universe meant to hold back life. Entering into a newly born universe, the Absolute Universe was created. Here, Darkseid's presence means that there's a lack of hope and means. Batman is not rich. Superman didn't grow up with the Kents. Wonder Woman has no island of Amazons. And what of the Flash?
Let's dive right in. This is Absolute Flash issues 1 through 3, written by Jeff Lemire and drawn by Nick Robles.
With lightning shooting out of his body and hunted by red phantoms, Wally West forces his mind to slow down. Wally is a 15-year-old boy with no friends. He lives on an army base and frequently runs away for long walks. This time he forgot his ID when coming home, but his friend on the base, Dr. Barry Allen, vouches for him. He then shows Wally what they've been working on at Project Olympus. Weapons, of course, that's what the army pays for, but also breakthroughs in physics and biology. Maybe Wally could even help part-time, but his dad, Colonel West, shows up and shoots down that idea, ordering Wally to go home after laying into Barry for allowing his son into the project. Cut to Wally in the desert when a strange tank shows up and launches a green boomerang into the sky. 4 people are inside: Jesse, Lisa, Harkness, and the captain. They're to bring Wally in alive.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground barring injury is 500 miles per hour. That gives us a search radius of 100,000 miles. Nobody do the math. What I want from each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, farmhouse, butte, cliff, scrub, and valley in that lifeless desert. Your fugitive's name is Mr. Wally West. Go get him. No, seriously, go. What, I'm the idiot?
Wally seems to be traveling through his own time stream and returns to his home 1 day ago. His father needs to be here, but also needs Wally to be safe. This leads to another fight, and Wally goes looking for Barry, but sees an exploded skull-green monkey. He finds Barry at the heart of an experiment wearing a strange suit. Barry, seeing Wally, shouts for him to run. The captain and Harkness follow Wally into the caves with more boomerang drones. Back at the experiment, Wally rushes towards Barry, and now in the present, Barry Allen is dead. We get a quick flash, of a stranger watching several scenes of Barry's life in the future. A molten man. Green apes. Barry and that strange monkey from earlier. An Oppenheimer-style experiment, and Wally in a costume holding another costume. Back in the present, the boomerangs find Wally. The captain is sealing the caves up with an ice gun and sets Barry running. He orders Glider to cut him off. She tries to ambush him, but he turns into a beam of red lightning and evades her. An ice blast stops him, but he unleashes a lightning storm. He returns to the experiment, being ripped apart by the energy until Barry saves him. But when it's shut down, he's gone. The Colonel attacks Barry for seemingly disintegrating his boy.
Oh, you bastard! You killed my son! My only boy, my pride and joy! Now who's gonna mow the lawn, or do the dishes, or take out the garbage? Now who will I give something to really cry about?
Wally reconstitutes out of the red energy, but shoots out lightning. In the present, the rogues are protected by Jessie's force fields. She catches him in one, but he quickly, escapes. No one can outrun Glider. Wally outruns Glider. Wally is untethered in his own time stream. He's in the desert. He's with his dad and Barry in the lab. He's a child with his parents when his mother was still alive. He's in two possible futures. One, where he's a costumed hero. One, where he's a monster that's destroyed the Earth. Pissed off, the captain says it's time to let out their secret weapon. The green monkey from earlier. Grodd.
Come, son of Jor-El, kneel before Grodd!
When his super speed kicked in, Barry was dragged behind Wally. Nothing Wally could do could save him. He falls asleep in a farmhouse, and it's not long before Grodd finds him. They recognize each other from Project Olympus. Touching fingers, they form a psychic connection. They see each other's history and bond over losing their moms. Wally can understand Grodd's rudimentary thoughts. Grodd insists they are the same. A boomerang drone blows up the farmhouse. Wally begins to lose control of his powers again until Grodd takes away his fear. Grodd blasts Glider with a psychic attack, then the captain and Jessie. Harkness claims to be immune and flies after the Flash with his boomerangs. Using his super speed, Wally launches himself into the air, knocking Harkness out. With Grodd, he returns to Barry's corpse, taking the supersuit for his own. Wally West is being hunted. His old life is over, but in a new way, he feels free.
And that's the first 3 issues of Absolute The Flash. Or is it The Absolute Flash? It's the first one, I think. Anyway, should you run to the stores to get this, or is this one book you absolutely should not read? Let's take a closer look and find out.
In the All-In universe, it seems like the thing missing from the Flash's life is legacy. Rather than being the third Flash, Wally West is the first. His mentor, Barry Allen, is dead, in part because of Wally. There's no mention of Jay Garrick, at least none in these first 3 issues. He is the fastest man alive, and he, a 15-year-old kid, has to figure out what that means and how to control his powers while being hunted by a task force that answers to his own father. I do like that Barry Allen is still a part of the story, a mentor and friend to Wally just like he was in the main DCU, but now his death is burdening Wally with guilt and holding him back from understanding his powers. Gorilla Grodd, being reimagined as Monkey Grodd, was an odd choice, but one I'm liking so far, with the bond between him and Wally being used to finally help Wally get control of his powers. Will they remain friends, or is that future shot of Green Gorillas a warning of a future breakup? The Rogues, being reimagined as a scientifically enhanced team of ex-military operatives, was a cool choice. Rather than thieves and petty criminals who fell into science ray guns and the like, the military spin makes them a little more dangerous. Instead of a bunch of hard-to-control personalities, you've got a team that knows how to work together and follow orders. I also like that this ties them into the Flash and his origins, Project Olympus, a focal point to build the entire book's lineup around. In the last pages of issue 1, Lemire gives us a preview of things to come. I'm never a big fan of these things, but of course it depends on the writer. It just feels like it's locking the story into a certain path, and if you go through with that path, the book can now feel predictable. If you ignore it, you've got fans wondering why it was never paid off. I know it's meant to sell you on the book and keep you buying issues, but it just feels a little inconvenient to me. As it was the initial story, we didn't get a whole lot of super speed. It seems focused more on time travel. At first I thought the book was using non-linear storytelling, but more and more I believe that Wally was bouncing around his own timeline. The lightning storms and red phantoms a symptom of his malfunctioning powers, but not the cause. That seems to be his own guilt over Barry's death, fear that his powers would kill again. I'm not sure about this father-son relationship. It's fairly dysfunctional. I get the feeling he cares for Wally, but at the same time the Colonel seems fairly ambivalent. He's either yelling at Wally or coldly explaining what needs to be done. And the art is pretty good. I mentioned before in previous reviews that you can't really do fight scenes or speed scenes in a static medium. You have to rely on the posing, and in that aspect Nick Robles is very good. He also does good design work. I love the look of the Rogues, and the black elements of the usually all-red Flash costume really set it off. His art is crisp and clean, which I think works for a book with a more science fiction heavy lean to its storytelling.
I have to admit, The Flash is one comic book I never really got into. That said, Absolute Flash has me hooked. Is it the best comic I've ever read? No. Am I invested and want to see where it goes? Yes. I give Absolute Flash, issues 1 through 3, 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's just shy of being a great book, and I think if they keep up the pacing and streamline some of the relationships, it will get there. Until next time, my friends, when you run to see what I'm going to review next, this is Comic Book Issues, and I'm your host, Brian Heinz.